So I've done both. I've done the this is what everybody's looking for. So where are we? October. So my campaign for my book is called Naked Kaiju Woman. It is about a lady that grows into a giant naked lady and fights kaiju. It's it's a Kickstarter darling. It's done very well on Kickstarter. The first one did. I'm on the second one, and it's outperforming the first one. That was done because Kickstarter just likes naked ladies. So I had a story. I had a story for it that is, I keep saying like I could just do like a booby book and just have naked ladies for the sake of it, and it would do very well. But I'm like, no, I want to. It's more of a satire of that. It's a satire of Kickstarter, of indie comics, and how they just lean into this, and how they just like, sure, let's just make naked lady books. So I wanted to kind of make a joke of it, and everybody's kind of in on the joke by supporting it, right? So if you just want it for the naked ladies, they're in there. The artist Raphael knows how to draw an excellent naked lady, but really, it's a commentary on all of it. So that was my way around it. It's like I'm going to be a part of the problem while making fun of it. The South Park method. So that was kind of my approach there. But otherwise, I just kind of do what I want. Honestly, I feel like that's the best way to do it. You should be cognizant of the market,
sure,
in the sense of you can do whatever you want, but understand that your pro wrestling vampire book, the other book I did, is not going to do as well as the naked lady book that I also did. Right? The market, very different. Yeah. Very, I've done noir books. My noir book, some people like that one the most. Yeah. And it's the least popular genre on Kickstarter. And I was aware of this, and I'm like, I don't care. Right? Like, I want to tell the story. It's funny you mentioned True Detective. The character was based on Rachel McAdams in
cool.
True Detective. The visual, not the character.
Right. I'm sure.
Right?
Cool. Got it. Cool.
Yeah. Right? But yeah, so it was like that book I knew wasn't going to do as well. It was in black and white, right? Like I broke every rule, and I'm like, I don't care. This is the story I want to tell and the way I want to tell it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a juggling, and I just understood. Okay, like I'm probably going to take a loss on this book, but I want it to see the light of day, and the people that like it are at least going to understand that this is the type of thing they can expect from me. So yeah, it kind of goes all over the place. I think if you just try to sell out, I feel like that's fleeting, right? Like you'll do something, your heart's not in it. People will give you the money the first time because, a nudie book. I'm into nudie books. And then they see like, oh, it's just a nudie book. Like there's nothing behind it. I don't know that that's sustainable. Like the people, even on Kickstarter that I see that do NSFW books, right? The ones that are successful always have something more behind it, right? Like Pat Shand is the biggest one. I don't know if you're familiar. No, Pat Shand's a big name on Kickstarter specifically.
Okay.
He used to work for like Zenoscope and
oh, cool.
Yeah. And he just went out and did his own thing. And all his books are like he sells them at the Adult Entertainment Expo and does well there too, right? Because they're all like very sex focused books. Like one's about like an OnlyFans girl, and another one's called The Escort. Like it's all kind of that.
Sure.
But he has some like real like meat and potatoes behind it. Like there's a good story behind each of them, and it's that it's you can just do like pinups, right?
Sure.
But unless you have something behind it, good luck getting people to keep coming back. Unless you're amazing at pinups, because there's people that are just really good artists as well.
Sure.
But that's a different market, like art books. But if you're trying to sell a comic that has like no story and just people naked in it, like it's not going to do well on its own unless you have something to say, right? So, yeah. Again, if you're an artist and you do pinups, that's your story. That's what you're doing, right? But I'm saying like those people that hire artists to be like, and then she's naked this way, and then she falls over, and then like I see those come and go constantly, right? But the ones that are like, no, like there's a story that just happens to be a little more explicit or happens to have naked people in it, then yeah, those seem to stick around and do well. So, the roundabout answer to your question.
It's a good answer. No, I mean, it is. I mean, it's not a simple yes or no, right? Like that, there is no. And I consider myself a creative person, and I've done some side projects, and I've done some primary ones, and I done work as like graphic designers, and I'm trying to be a writer right now and stuff too. And it's just one of those things where it's trying to balance like, this is the story that I want to tell, or this is the type of art that I want to do, but also knowing that, well, if there isn't an audience for it, then you can still make it, but that doesn't mean that you have to make it for people to consume, right? Like, you're more than welcome just to write your own short stories or sing your own songs or make your own book. And if it's just for you, that's totally fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making something for yourself. And not everything has to be commercialized, right? Not everyone needs to open up an Etsy shop. Just because you're good at crochet doesn't mean you need to sell it, kind of thing. But some people have something they want to say, something that they think that other people might be interested in hearing or seeing or consuming in some way. But you have to, I can imagine, have to be aware of, well, then it's got to be good. It's got to be something that people would actually consume and actually want to consume. So, yeah, it's an interesting balance, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the joy of being a writer is being read, right? Like that's the truth. But otherwise, you're just writing a journal, which is okay. Like everybody, and I was gonna say everybody journals, not everybody journals. Everyone should. But yeah, like you can write a journal for yourself, and quality doesn't matter because you're the only one who's ever gonna read it unless you share it with someone later on. But that's like there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're writing stories, one would assume that you want someone to read and enjoy it at some point, right? And and to your point, it's not so much about selling it. It could just be somebody enjoying it too, right?
Yep.
Like you just want someone else to get something out of it. Otherwise it's a journal. So if you want someone else to get something out of it, you do have to learn, and you have to skill up, and you have to understand the tenets of writing a story and what is involved in that. Why, you do it one way over another, why you don't do this, and why the rules exist, which is the one that you always have to tell the new writers, right? They're like, yeah, but why is it always like this? It's like, because there are certain expectations when you write a story that it has a beginning, middle, and end. You are not novel or new for not adding an ending.
Yeah.
Many have tried, many have failed. Please stop. Just do it the way it works.
No, it's
right?
a point. I mean, there's always that opportunity for someone to come out to reinvent, the thing. But there's a reason that, like, the hero's journey is like the thing that every writer knows of because it works, right? Like
Yes.
it works, which is why there's a hero of 1,000 faces, because everybody does it, kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, you can absolutely try different things, and certain things will work. There's plenty of people out there, your Brandon Sandersons or something like that, who do come out and do something different and do something that no one has ever done before. But that is the exception, not the rule, kind of thing.
Yes.
There's a reason that, things are done a certain way. And sometimes that's because it makes the writer's life easier. And sometimes that just makes it easier for the consumer to consume. You don't want to make your consumer have a hard time to consume your media, because no one wants a hard time to consume their media, kind of thing. I read comic books to have a good time, not have a bad time. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I read ones that are purposely sad. So, or even going back to what you were saying earlier about your friend that does D&D for like therapeutic and stuff like that. Sometimes people play D&D to be sad. But generally we like to consume things because it's a good experience. So
Yeah.
I like to think. Maybe that's just me. Maybe everybody outside of this room is just watching TV shows that make them sad. So, and I'm the weird watching Parks and Rec. So
I don't even think it's a matter of happy or sad, right? Like you should feel something, I think is the key thing, right? Like it should evoke some sort of emotion. So yeah, you can watch like tearjerkers all you want. If that's your bag, that's cool. Like there's nothing wrong with that. You're doing it so you can feel something.
Yeah.
And the problem with trying to circumvent every rule that's ever been written with your writing or any kind of art is well, the reason these work is because they've been proven to evoke something out of people, to get some kind of feeling and emotion out of people that you won't if you just do whatever the hell you want. Nobody understands where you're coming from, right? Like there's a language we speak, and there's a way that these things are put together that work in a certain way, right? So if you just do your own thing, and you make it that much harder for people to understand, right? Your chances of success are that much lower, especially when you're just starting. Nobody wants the brand new thing from the person they don't know, kind of getting this whole conversation all in one, getting the theme of this conversation.
You're telling me about like, just like a, a creative endeavor versus like fan service kind of thing. And it's interesting to hear that perspective. It's a very, very interesting perspective. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I think the biggest, like the more impressive thing to me, rather than coming up with something entirely new and like, oh, this is going to transcend media, is use the guardrails that are there and come up with something original, right?
Help you. So
yeah. Like if you can tell me a story that I know, or like rom-coms are my favorite example. Everybody knows exactly what's going to happen, right? They're going to break up and they're going to get back together.
Right.
It is a requirement of the genre, right? Like if you don't do that, people will say it sucks. Like it has to happen. So tell me a story within that framework that will still surprise me somehow.
Yeah.
Right. So it's always impressive when they do that. And it's right. Like you can complain and be like, oh, like this is dumb. Right. But it's impressive when you can do that, when you can get away with it and say, like this is, this is the same story you've seen, but here's a totally new spin on it in a way you've never seen it before. Right. So yeah, using the guardrails, using the limitations to tell a story that's different, way more impressive than just being like, I'm going to just reinvent something that's been around for thousands of years.
Yeah. No, it's a good, that's good advice.
Well, thank you. I'll try. So you're mentioning you've been dabbling with writing and stuff. So what's the medium you're doing it in? You mentioned short stories. Are you writing a novel? Are you doing comics? What's your vocation?
I'm trying to write a novel. Yeah. So I'm a big comic guy. I would love to write a comic. Can't draw to save my ass though. So I think the hard part about something like that is just like bringing in another person, and not just I mean, as you know, as a person who has a show with another person, there's just more, not even negative in any way. There's just more to that. Yes. So the beauty of like trying to write, I say trying because it's an attempt to write a novel, is that it's just me. So it's just me writing when I can. And it's something that I have this story in mind, and I spent about a year and a half doing world building of it before I even put a single pen to paper of the actual novel itself, just writing characters and locations and currencies and government and like all the things that would go into. I'm a big planner. I'm definitely, when I go on vacation, I'm an itinerary guy. Nice. So doing it that way made a lot of sense to me. But now that I have all that done, I'm in the process of writing, and I'm about 4 or 5 chapters in. It's going to be somewhere in the range of about 25 to 30 when I'm done. But it's a fun process. I'm very much looking forward to it. That's about all I got. So.
No, that's fair. I mean, the novel's a big undertaking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's, as you mentioned, there's kind of like a solitude in it. I guess that's not the word I'm looking for, but it's your vision. I think it's a solitary vision. So even though you have an editor who's going to say it might steer you, like we've been talking about, they might send you in a direction or another to say, maybe you should try to do this because this is the genre expectation, or this character's motivation isn't clear, whatever. They're going to do something to kind of hone your vision, but it's your vision, right? Where with a comic, you are ceding control to the artist after a certain level. And depending on the artist, you're going to get different levels of that. Yeah. So some artists, like Roberto's very, like if you give him a direction, he usually will follow through, right? Like he will say, yeah, just tell me what you want to see. And then if you don't fill in the gaps, he'll fill them in for you. And that's where the kind of the magic happens, right? Like in our page, you would see those cars that showed up, and that like we didn't tell him to draw cars.
It's a great detail. Yeah.
Right. So he just kind of adds on the periphery where you don't fill in. And you have some artists that like want to be a part of the story, right? And they'll be like, I think they would actually do this, and so really, it's more of a partnership than anything, right? And it depends on the artist that you get. So it's all a wild card, right? And I've worked with half a dozen artists now, let's say, on different series, and they're all different. they all have a different way of approaching it. Some want like, I drew this layout. How does it look? Do you agree? Do you think this is the way we should go with it? Right? And very like they want the not the handhold, but like just they want to be certain before they move to the next step. Welcome back, Roberto.
Hi.
Right? We're talking about artists and how artists are different from one another. So yeah, so sometimes you'll see folks that want like, I don't know if you know the difference in comic scripts. There's like the Marvel method and then the full script method.
Yep.
Yeah, so some want that full script and tell me exactly what I'm drawing in each panel, and then I can proceed. Like I can't do this without you giving me exact detail. And others that are just like, just give me an idea, and I'll run with that, right? Which is kind of how Roberto works on this show, right? Where we don't give him too much to go with, and he'll run with it. But yeah, so it really depends. It could honestly be one way where it's where they're like, tell me exactly what you want, and then they want approval at each step. You have others who will just kind of go. You just say, this is the kind of the idea I have, and they'll do their own thing, right?
What I prefer is a finished script.
There we go.
That means this is fun because we're doing it together. But if you give me a script and I'm drawing, and when I give you the drawing back, you say, "Oh, but can you add this that you never mentioned on the script?" That pisses me off.
Fair, fair.
Yeah, and to be fair, we're kind of sitting over your shoulder, virtually speaking, right? So I mean, it's happening live. But if you're sitting there with a script and you're doing it from end to end at that point, and then the guy comes over your shoulder and says,
"Actually, I would like to."
Right. We're here. We do a weird version of it where we're kind of brainstorming and layout live and all that stuff. But yeah, like when you're working with someone, and typically you never meet the artists that you work with. Like I haven't. The only one I've met is Roberto, that I've met in person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So everyone else is all over the world. I've had the closest I came was to meeting my colorist JP Jordan. He's like also a huge hype man on all of the socials. Every time I have a book, he's like,
"Oh, nice.
Buy a book. But anyway. I was in the UK. He was at the same convention as me, and I wasn't at my table when he came by. So that was a shame. But that was the closest I came to meeting someone else. Everyone else is just like spread all over the world. So yeah, Roberto's the only one that I've actually met in person that I've worked with. And yeah, so communication and all that stuff becomes very key in learning how the other person likes to work and how they work. Speaking of Roberto, your screen is not sharing. If you mean to share your screen.
Oh, forgot. Yeah. Little detail, I forgot.
It is a big part of the show.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, we didn't miss too much. But yeah, so you don't get the same control that you would with a novel, but it's part of it. So you just kind of accept it, right? Like unless you're drawing it yourself and you're doing it end to end,
right,
then you can, but it's like a film, right? Like you're doing a film. The director gets so much control. The screenwriter gets so much control. Maybe you get an auteur that does all of it. And yet the cinematographer is going to have a say on how things are framed and how they look. And so just based on the medium, there's some inherent something you're giving away, right? Where a novel is your vision with a touch of your editor's direction, right? But
I mean that's anything, right? That's compromise and communication are really keys to everything that we do. You need to be able to compromise with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your wife or whoever, or with your boss at your job. Unless, to your point, you are the only person doing something, you make all the ultimate decisions. No, but that's not the real world. Everyone has a boss. Even if you're your own boss, everybody has a boss. Everyone's got a bank that they own up to, or a CEO, or sometimes even your kid is your boss that day, kind of thing, right? So like, and that every
your clients.
Well, okay, yeah,
your audience.
As the guy without kids, I can't make that statement, but I can. So, but it's true, right? That nothing in our head will ever be exactly what we put on paper, ultimately. So, and that's okay at the same time, because sometimes it is nice to be the only person who's working on stuff. Sometimes, like from a writing perspective for me, sometimes it's nice to know that exactly what is in my head, as long as I have the ability, is what I write on the piece of paper. But sometimes it's nice to collaborate with people. Sometimes I talk to my friends about my ideas, or I've actually hired a couple artists to draw some scenes from my book.
Nice.
Because I'm a very visual person. So having that visual reference point for me is fun. It's fun just to have that, because then it makes me feel fancy. But also it's nice to have to verbalize it, has to explain. Because if I can't explain it to someone, then I definitely can't write it, kind of thing. If I can't tell someone what the scene is supposed to feel like or look like, I'm not going to be able to translate that to a page. So it's been a very fun process for that, and it's helped me out, dramatically. My bank account wouldn't agree with that, but it's been a very fun process regardless. But it has not helped. It has helped me a ton to get to the phase of this writing that I am at, and we'll see one day, maybe. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and I will say, so as someone who dabbles in both, like I have much more output. Well, as of right now, I have almost all my output in comics. I've put together, I mentioned it off the top, I have a second anthology coming out. But I put together an anthology with some of my short stories in there, and mostly short stories from other people. And that's the breadth of the prose stuff I've done, because I find prose to be a lot more daunting because it's just me.
Sure.
Right? I can whip out scripts for comics all day, and even though most of the artists that I work with are pretty, like, they stick to the script, for lack of a better term, right? Like they offer like tidbits here and there, but for the most part, like, the plot is mine, the character is mine, right? And they kind of add to it. But I feel like they're my safety net. Like, if the story is truly bad, like, I can depend on a good artist to save it. I can't do that when I have a novel. Like, I it's all me. Like, if it's bad, an editor's gonna, like, try to steer me, but they're only gonna steer me so much, because they're gonna be like, well, this is the story you want to tell.
Yeah.
If you want to tell that story, this is the best way to do it. But, it's on me. The failure is mine alone if I fail. Where I feel like having someone else involved, I feel a lot more free. I feel like I also just understand the medium a little better, in terms of, like, I've read many more comics than I've read novels.
Yeah.
So the part of it's that, but a big part of it's just I feel much more exposed when I'm writing prose and stuff than I do writing comics, because there's someone else filtering my words, right?
No, that honestly, I feel the exact same way. That's perfectly put, which is that it's a very lonely, it's a very isolating, but it's also a very, like, heavy thing to be the one that has to be responsible for all aspects of it. It's almost easier to work and collaborate with another person, but then, yeah, you're right. Then does become a filtering. Right? It is, again, what you have in your head is not what is going to end up on the page. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be worse. It could be better.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love collaborating with people. In my day job, I get to collaborate with tons of amazing, creative, lovely individuals, and they get to, they show me things that I didn't even consider. And I love working with people that really, like, push me to be better in my day job. But also sometimes it's just nice to put your head down and just do it yourself. And then you know that it's being done exactly the way that you want to. But that depends, right? That depends on the circumstances and everything. But I think there's a lot of different ways to get to the end goal. It just depends on your flavor.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it's all about mindset, and it's all about understanding kind of where you want to end up and what it's going to take to get there. And sometimes that can be your worst enemy. Which is how I feel about writing, like, the novels and stuff. Like, I'm stuck in the middle of a couple of them right now. So you mentioned, you got one project. So is that are you just doing one project, or do you have multiple that you jump between? What's your method? Do you need to focus and go all in on one story, or do you need a break once in a while and kind of get away from a story in order to come back to it? What's your approach?
Yeah, that's a good question. My approach is usually I work on it and I step away, kind of thing. I need that fresh set of eyes and that are mine, kind of thing. So like if I write a chapter or something, I will then not look at it for like a couple weeks, and then I'll come back, I'll reread it, probably throw it away because it was bad. And then try again and just kind of keep iterating on it and just kind of keep making improvements until I get it to a point that I'm at. I have a kind of a writing coach / editor that I've been working with, and she's been an amazing collaborator. Shout out to Kayla Nichols. And she's been the best. She's been so helpful because she's someone that has a lot more experience in writing than I do. So it's been really great to work with her, for her to point out things that maybe I didn't think about at the time when I was writing, say, like my outline, or when we were working on a chapter together, or something where she's like, well, this would be better if we put it here. This would be better if we put it here, just from a flow perspective. And it's true. She's always right. I'm always always very right. But it's always really fun and always really nice to kind of work with people that can help you get there as effectively and as efficiently as possible, as opposed to the last thing I want to do is write an entire novel, give it to someone, they say it's crap, and then I have to start all the way over, kind of thing. I'd rather kind of work on it in increments as we go, and that's been a very fun project. But I do like to try and dabble in like some side projects here and there. I was actually, this is like very, very early. I have no real progress to really show on this, other than a Miro board that me and my friend Nick kind of throw some images to every once in a while. But my really good friend Nick and I have been talking about making like a tabletop game, like a board game.
Nice. Yeah.
Kind of thing. And we're taking a lot of influence from like a Final Fantasy Tactics crossed like Titanfall kind of thing. And we think it'd be really fun, but it's something we're just kind of like playing with, and we're just kind of like talking about every so often. But it's something that like every so often we go out to dinner and we talk about it, and we talk about how we could do this, and we talk about how we do it, and that's very fun. One, it's just a good excuse to see my very good friend, and two, it's also something that's like, it just gets us both thinking about different creative things that gives us both a reprieve from our other primary creative things, mine being my novel and he's a musician. So nice. This is also just like a fun side project that we like to work on together when we have the time. But who knows with that? I would love to see that project make its way to store shelves one day. So
amazing. So speaking of, so what's the long-term goals with this novel? Are you looking to get it published directly, or are you going self-publish? What's your vision? I know it might be a way down the road, but what's your thoughts?
That's the question, isn't it? I mean, I actually hope to have the book finished, written by next year, probably like late next year. So probably like over a year from now. But that is the question, isn't it? That is the question, which is cool. I've written it, or it's written, it's done, it's out there, it exists in a document. What do I do with it? I've told my wife this, but I would cry my eyes out if I ever went to a Barnes and Noble and saw my name on a book. I'd lose it. I'd lose it if that was ever happened. But I also know that like traditional publishing is very difficult to get into, especially as like a new author kind of thing. And there's a lot of contracts that go into that, and like they own a portion of it, and I don't want an idea. Kind of stuff. And so I would love to go the indie route, but I also know that that's a very hard road, as I'm sure you guys can speak to kind of go the route of self-publishing or indie publishing. Is there's a lot to that too, but it also puts a lot more pressure on you to see if it could even be successful. So ideally, so to answer your question in a very roundabout way, I would love to go the traditional publishing route. I will probably explore that. But I also am perfectly happy with throwing this thing on a Kindle, charging people $1 for it, or whatever the lowest denomination is that Amazon will let me sell it for, just because I just want people to consume it, kind of thing. I don't. Could I maybe charge people more for it? Yeah, probably. But I also just want people to read it. So I just care about people enjoying it more than having to pay 20 or however much books are these days. I have no idea. $30 to read something that maybe they'd enjoy. So
I like that. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with the traditional publishing route. Like the thing I always remind myself is someone has to do it. Right? Like
yeah.
it might be hard. It might be difficult. It may not be as straightforward as you had hoped, but someone's going to do it. Right? Like,
Yeah.
then why not me? Why not try it? Like it sounds like you're doing everything the right way. Right?
Sure.
Like you're not just saying, I'm brilliant. I'm going to let my unvarnished first draft become this. Right? I will.
I'm not even done writing it, and this is probably my 80th draft already, kind of thing. So that the amount of pages I've thrown away, I could have published 12 novels by now.
So case in point, right? Like you're doing it the right way, and that's already got you a leg up over a lot of people, right? Because most people who say they want to do that, either they do it, and now with AI, let's not even get into that whole conversation. But everybody feels enabled to do it. It's like, I have a bad idea and I want to see it through, and they can, and it could be a finished novel, and it's like, sure, but it's just like people will see through it most of the time. Sometimes some have gotten through so far, but for the most part, people can see through it. But it sounds like you're doing it the right way, that you're honing it and you're making sure it's the best that could possibly be before it gets to that level, before you send that manuscript out to an agent or to a publisher, right? So I think you're doing everything you can to put it in the right place.
I appreciate it. Yes. No, I'm in the mindset that I may never write another one, right? This is potentially a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I may never write a sequel. I may never write more. This may be the one and only time I ever do it. Maybe no one will buy it. Maybe nobody will read it. Maybe the opposite. Who's to say? But it's one of those things where it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I'm taking all the time. But also, there's no one to tell me when it needs to be released, right? This is on my agenda. If I want to spend the next 20 years writing this thing, I hope I'm not, but I could. I absolutely could do that, and that would be totally fine. And that would be it. But as long as it comes out in the quality that I expected it, then that's what I'm happy with. I care a lot less about the time period in which it gets released, because this was something 3 years ago I didn't even know that I wanted to do. That probably did, but the story did not exist 3 years ago when I first had my first idea about it, kind of thing. But I wrote my first sentence of the concept. But yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, I would love to go the traditional route, and I think it'd be really fun and interesting to do that. But yeah, I care about it being good, and if good means I got to take an extra 10 years to get there, that's okay. So that's, as we've discussed on this episode, I'm a planner. I'm big on itineraries, and I'd rather take the time to make sure that it's a good time than a bad time. So, because I also realize that, especially for authors, they may only ever get the one shot, right? If you put out a book and it's a bad book and it's your debut book, you may never get a second book, kind of thing. Whether that means that publishers are turning you away because they saw how bad your first book was, or you're discouraged, or whatever the reasoning is kind of around that. So again, I'd rather take the time, make sure it's good, get it out there, and hopefully people enjoy it, and we'll find out in 2027 when it maybe comes out. So
nice.
Yeah.
No, and it sounds like, so it sounds like you're very in the camp of traditional publishing, which is okay. Like it's you're doing it the right way for that. Like, with the thing with indies is you don't make anything until you're on your 10th book.
Yeah.
Right? Like I say 10th because I'm on my 10th Kickstarter, and this one's doing really well.
Oh, good.
But it took I've been doing all right, but this is the one that seems like, okay, this might be the breakthrough that I've been waiting for, that it's starting to not just pay for itself, but the books behind it that didn't pay for themselves. Yeah. Right? And that's just the way it is. Like, you just have to accept that risk as an indie. So doing it your way, where you're like, look, I'm putting my heart and soul into this one book, and everything I need to say is in this one book. And like you said, it may be the only book, and that's fine with you, right? So if that's what you're doing, then yeah, traditional publishing is definitely the way. And it just, the slog becomes at that point when the book is done, is finding that home for it, right? And that's where the patience will come in too. It sounds like you have more than enough patience considering you've already set this timeline out 2 years.
More than I would like to admit, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have the right mindset for it. Like, I'm sure we will see it on shelves at some point, just based on that. Based on, again, the when is the question. I don't think it's the if. It's just a matter of that.
I said the exact same thing. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And I keep telling myself that. And one day, look for the book called Duality coming out sometime eventually. That's the working title. I've now said the name of it, and if I change the name of the book, now I look like a jerk. So,
you're totally fine. Like, honestly, I think, especially when you're early on in the process, like, more than ever, people are, because they're so in on how things are made and they totally get that there's like a process to everything, people are very okay with change. I have changed the release dates of things. I've changed the campaign launches of things. I've actually, as of today, I had to change something that was supposed to come out in early October. This is late October. It's not out. Because of that, because it's one of the novels I'm working on, and I'm like, you know what, this is nowhere where I want it to be. Right? It was a novella, and I'm like, it's not. I'm trying too hard to cram it into this small thing, and I don't know if that's what I want to do. So I'm reworking it, and I've just pushed the date entirely. That's and it's that, and and I haven't had anybody say, you know what, you suck. You suck. You promised that it was going to be on this day, and I was ready, and now that you've done that, I am unfollowing you. Like, I've never had that. Right? They're just like, oh, cool. Like, I appreciate you taking the time to not sell me garbage. Right? Like, you think it's not ready? Good. Like, go work on it and then release it when it's ready. Because that's the thing with being an indie. Or like, again, if you have a first book that you're getting published, right? The second book is the problem. It's the sophomore album. It's here's the due date, make it happen by then and make it good. Right? But with the first one, or with indies in general, like, you can always just say, look, I need time. I need time to make it right. It's not where I want it. So I'm gonna rework it, right? So that's it's accepted more than ever, I feel like. With some exceptions, like what is it? Batman Hush just got delayed again today.
Yeah, no,
to bring it back to DC. But
you know what? With stuff like that, when you're putting out 20-page issues and stuff, there's obviously the time period is way different than writing like a novel or something, or even putting out an entire volume at the same time, in the case of like comic volumes or something. But also, people are willing to wait a little bit more because it's Hush, right? Like, it's a book that everybody is kind of excited for by, an artist and a writer that people are really jazzed about. They have a little bit of credibility that says, like, am I thrilled when books get delayed? Of course not. Am I willing to wait if it's a better book? Absolutely, every single time. So it's the books that come out too early that are usually the ones that are disappointing. So
exactly,
and you can't really put that genie back in the bottle when it's out, is the problem. Then you end up with an all-star Batman situation. So full circle, we came back, we got there,
and that one was super delayed too.
It was.
Yeah, it's kind of wild too. Like, the thing is, like, what's happening now. So for the audience, we're in early September. Batman 1 just came out, and we're waiting for Batman 167 at the same time. It's a very weird, like, but
wild.
No one, right? But no one's gonna remember this 2 years from now. That's the thing, right? Like, either Batman, the new Batman 1 with Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez is going to be amazing, and that'll be collected, and everybody will look back on that story. Or Hush 2 will be amazing, and everybody look back on that story when it's collected. Nobody's going to be like, but they came in the wrong sequence. Like, no one will remember.
No one's got. Honestly, I was recently rereading. What was it called? I think it was. Was it? It was a Robin centric book. No, it was like a weekly book that they were doing. It was in that era where Jim Gordon was in that like Mecha Batman suit or whatever.
Oh yeah, was that the Zero Year?
It was something like that, but but they were doing like a weekly book, and it was like very Robin centric. It might have been called Robins or like All Star Robin or something like that. But
sure.
But it was really good, and I really enjoyed it. But then I went back and read it, and I was like, I had no idea what's happening in this world at this time, because comics, very specifically comics, move so quickly, right? They move so at such a rapid pace that by the time that I'm invested in the next story, I've already forgotten about the last one. kind of
Oh,
thing. As
yeah.
soon as the next volume comes out, I already don't know what happened in the first one, kind of thing. So it's like comics they move so quickly that you're right. But like, it's kind of even similar to the fact that we're going to have like 2 different Batman actors in coming out. We'll have the Rob Pattinson, and whoever they get to be, the James Gunn one. And I'd seen some, stuff on like a Reddit or something. It was like, oh, is that going to be too confusing? It was like, we've had multiple Batman before and stuff.
Yep.
We've had different medias and stuff. We've had that, like, that has existed at different periods and stuff. If I remember correctly, the Batman was on at the same time as like Justice League Unlimited, or from a low television perspective, or even the Flash TV show was on at the same time as Ezra Miller was the Flash, for better or for worse. So like it's not crazy to do that stuff, but also people are just gonna gravitate to whatever's the better thing and forget about the rest. I think people care a little too much about canon sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm a big canon guy. I'm a big guy that like, I like a good canon, but not to the detriment of the story. So
Yes.
the story's good, I could care less about the canon. If the story's bad, I'll blame the canon. So
Yeah, and that's kind of to your point. Like the ones who care about canon will be the ones who won't have a problem differentiating the two
Right.
Batman. The ones who will are my wife, who doesn't care, right? Or my parents, who they don't know who's Batman now. Wait, wasn't the last guy a different Batman?
Wasn't
And
that
they
George
went back to
Clooney?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like they don't care about the canon, so they will just watch whatever the hell Batman is anyway, right?
As long as it's good, as long as it's entertaining and fun.
Exactly.
we're
If they hear
enjoying
there's
it.
a good Batman movie, they will be there, and then they'll be like, "Oh, they changed him again." And then the nerds like us will be like, "Well, technically,
Yeah,
the other one still exists, but."
Right.
And then they already tuned you out. Like, shut up! I don't care. Right? So who are you confusing? It's either people do not care that they changed, or people that do care enough to keep track of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like those are your two camps. There's no one in the middle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I get it. I get the idea that it can be confusing, and to be fair, there are some confusing aspects of that. I totally understand that, but also, I don't care. I just want a good movie.
Yeah.
I want a good book. I want a good comic. I just want it to be good. And I'm also like, we're also in a world where like the concept of the multiverse is like so widely known by general audiences right now. That like, I think a lot of people are a lot more understanding if stuff doesn't fit perfectly in it, because people understand the concept of a what if or a multiverse, or the same actor playing 2 different characters, or 2 different actors playing the same character and stuff like that. I think that's something that's just in the zeitgeist enough at this stage that you can kind of let the whole who is this person, why are they not this person kind of go a little bit more now than maybe even 5 years ago. Maybe 5 years ago it was a little bit harder to sell. Now I think people are a lot more like cool with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We've had 3 Spider-Man. Like we're good. We get
Exactly. Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. That movie did. Everyone knows that movie, and I don't think anybody needed to be explained it. So
Yeah, right. Or even the new Superman, to bring it back to that, right? The way that movie started was like, here's kind of what's happening. Okay, cool, let's get started, right? Like it was just, there was no like, oh, but where is he from? How did he come to? Just, this is Superman. He came at this time. He just lost the fight. Here we go, right?
yeah. Problem
Done.
solved.
Right. So yeah, you gotta give audiences some credit at some point. So I think having 2 Batman.
Batman's
I think having 2 of them is fine.
John
Okay.
Bat for sure. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Roberto, I see a finished
Yes.
page.
Do you want?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to make some
Dialogue.
balloons? Yeah.
Are we doing our noises? Are we doing our fancy
Our
onomatopoeia?
Yeah.
What do you think, Colton? Is there dialogue required here? I feel like they certainly have to say something at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has to hit. Did they say the same thing? Do you have a bubble with two tails?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like
Yeah.
they both say the same thing at the same time, kind of thing. I think that would be very fun. But the question is what?
Yes. has to really hit. Now you've really set yourself up for a challenge. What could it be? What could it be? Uh-oh. I hear trouble.
What if we did? feel like maybe like a who's first kind of thing. Like they're literally asking the other person. That was good. That's all they say. They say meow. Really throw the reader for a loop. So you forget
Not
Twilight.
to distract you. Yeah.
Maybe they say like a who's going first kind of thing. But they're saying it to each other.
I like that. Like in the first panel there, right?
No, in the last one.
Oh, in the last one? Or what if they say you? Like, are they both saying
like
you go
you
first?
kind of thing. Yeah,
You
like
go first.
they're both just kind of walking to it, and they just kind of look at each other and just say something at the same time. So.
Oh, I like that. So okay. So what if in the so in the early bubbles, maybe we can't even to the point of the whole thing. We can't even decipher what they're saying.
Yep.
So they have balloons with like gobbledygook in it, right?
Yeah, like sprinkles. So.
Yeah. And then what you find out what they're saying is they're both like selfish jerks, saying you go first.
Yeah, it's the. Yeah, I think that'd be good. That'd be interesting. If just like the scribbles are very like incoherent, and then it just becomes like more readable than by the last one you actually can read it, kind of thing. So
I like it.
Or would it be more dramatic just for them to say nothing until they get right next to each other, kind of thing? Or is that kind of opposite of what the theme was that we talked about at the top?
Oh, it's whatever we choose it to be.
Okay, all right, cool.
What do you think, Roberto? You're the tiebreaker.
I like the idea that they are saying something and maybe the like rumble or something is sound effect is covering the balloons.
Oh, yeah.
And you cannot
Oh,
hear
yeah.
it until the end.
I like that. So it's like have the sound effect over the balloon, so you don't even know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's
clever.
good. Yeah, like a boom kind of noise that's like so deafening that you can't even hear it.
Yeah, I like it. That's a very comic book.
Yeah.
I like the approach.
This is cool. This is great. What's the cat's name? I didn't ask.
Oh, this is Oliver. Yeah,
Nice.
so he's a little terror. He always, when he can hear me, my wife tries to distract him as much as possible. And then eventually he just breaks free,
As they do.
as they do.
If a cat
There's no
named
stopping them.
Sterling somewhere in this house, but he is camera shy, so he will not be
Aw.
making an appearance.
What was that name again?
Sterling.
Sterling. Oh, what a wonderful name. I love it.
Yeah, we named him. So we got him during COVID because we were in an apartment and we were lonely. So
Oh, sure. Yeah.
we had just got done watching Mad Men, so his full name is the name of the ad agency that Don Draper worked for, which was Sterling Cooper Draper Price. So
Oh my God, that's incredible.
pretty
I
good.
love Mad Men too, man.
It's a great show, and it's an amazing reference. But if you didn't know that, you'd be like, "Oh, cool, Sterling. It's a good name."
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah.
Like Rod Sterling. That's where my mind went first, but
Yeah, that's a good, or like a Sterling Silver or something. So no,
yeah, right.
big
Oh, that's clever.
old TV nerds. So yeah,
I love it. That's awesome. We got a lot in common. I appreciate that.
yeah, for sure. Not a lot of Mad. I mean, actually, that's not true. Everyone loves Mad Men, but I feel like it gets overshadowed because around that time there was so much good television.
Yeah, like Breaking
Uh,
Bad came out shortly after.
Breaking Bad was on at the same time. Walking Dead was kicking off, I think, around that era as well, if I'm remembering correctly. Game of Thrones obviously was kind of in that period of time, but like Mad Men, man, that show so good. It is, and Elizabeth Moss, amazing in that. John Hamm, absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, great show.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I've wanted to rewatch it for a couple of years now. Like I rewatch it every once in a while, but back when Blu-rays were a thing, I had all those. Yeah, Breaking Bad was a weird one because I watched the first couple episodes and then I dropped it. I'm like, this show sucks. Yeah, it was weird. And my brother like watched the first season. He's like, you have to go back and watch it. And then it became one of my favorite shows. But it was like that, and then I've since watched like all of Better Call Saul and all that stuff. Right? But at the time, yeah, like I gave it like an episode or two and I was just like, nope, not into it. I don't know what this show's about. I'll stick with Mad Men.
Yeah, right. That's fun fact about that actually. If I remember this piece of trivia correctly, AMC almost dropped Mad Men after the first season. They were like, the numbers aren't there. People don't entirely love it, kind of thing. And they're like, okay, we'll give you one more season. And then it just kind of went from there. Like, it was always a good show, but it was very much a like kind of, I referenced Parks and Rec already on this episode, but like Parks and Rec would also had a very underwhelming first season, and then season 2 just kind of propelled it to, you know, the show that it eventually became. Breaking Bad was the same thing. We almost never got a season 2, and we would have been robbed of one of the best shows ever created. So
it literally might be the best show, right? Like, as much as I lean to Mad Men just because I like the all of it, I think just objectively speaking, like, Breaking Bad might be the best show ever made, right? Like,
yeah, it's up there for sure. Definitely top 5. If you want a really good show, and I feel like you might like this because we've already talked about our love for True Detectives, is The Leftovers.
Oh, I've been hearing that. I've been hearing it, and it's been on my to watch list. I haven't done it yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Adore it. It is maybe one of the funkiest, weirdest, most bizarre shows I've ever seen, but it is so like grippingly like the funkiest weird art to it. It is sometimes it has so much like Hush, but it is a phenomenally written, produced, acted show. That final season is maybe like one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen, even topping first season of True Detectives in my.
Interesting. Okay, I have to watch it, but it's at the time I remember I held off for exactly the reason you said. It was the depressing nature of it. It's like
it's a sad show.
Yeah, and it's just like, do I want to be miserable for however many episodes of this show? Like The Walking Dead mixes it. It has like, it's mostly dreary and miserable, but sometimes they get some thrills in there.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, imagine that without any of the thrills.
You know what?
That was the leftover.
Little bit. There's a couple thrills here and there, but it is mostly just a show about sad people talking about how sad they are. Which I know I'm not doing a great job of elevator pitching this show, but I promise you, if you watch it, you will, and you make it all the way to the end, you will leave different than when you started. So
I like it. Yeah, it's different things for different purposes, right? Like, not every show has to be a comedy that you're in love with.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sometimes I want to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, and sometimes those moods are very different from when I want to watch what are we watching right now? The Peacemaker or something like that.
Yeah.
You're in very different moods that I need to be in to watch those shows, but both excellent shows. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What am I watching now? I'm watching Poker Face, the second season of that. You haven't watched it?
No. I mean, it's another one of the shows that just like kept getting bumped on my queue. So
I get it. I'm with you. Yeah, excellent. If you've enjoyed Knives Out at all, it's the same.
Love that. Yeah,
so it's Ryan Johnson, same style in the sense, but it's all what's her name, Natasha Lyonne. Like, it's her show. Yeah, it's very much like, if you don't like her, you will hate the show with your whole heart.
No, she's great.
But yeah, I would be shocked if you didn't like her. Like,
she was the best part of Orange Is the New Black when that show was on too.
Exactly, right? Yeah, so it's like, but it's also, even though it's a show that's like, it's about murder, like it's a murder mystery show. It's somehow so like warm-hearted and stuff. Like, she's such an excellent character. She makes friends with everyone she meets, kind of thing. Lovely. So it's, I don't know, it leaves you like, even though it's about like a very dark topic, it leaves you feeling kind of warm. So I really enjoy it. It's a great show. But then and then I watch that, and I watch The Studio. I don't know if you've seen that yet on Apple.
Oh, that's the Seth Rogen one, right?
Correct.
That's like a one-track shot, and they're just kind of like making fun of Hollywood and stuff. I really want to watch that show. I don't have an Apple TV subscription, or else I probably would. But that show is like so far up my alley. I just have yet to like sit down and watch it. So.
Oh yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it for sure. It's good too because it's the one thing is, like, I've been very slow to watch it, and it's good because the show is very much like it's all, what's the word? It's episodic. So each episode is self-contained. It's its own story. Like, there's the little threads that carry through, each episode, but realistically, like the story is like Seth Rogen as the studio head deals with problem A, and then it's like you just see that through, right? It's like the missing reel, and it's like him trying to find this missing reel of film because he chooses to film on film because film is beautiful or whatever, right? And now a reel goes missing, and you know, so it's that. It's like one problem per episode.
Yeah.
So you can technically you could pluck an episode from the middle and watch it, and you
Oh, I
won't
like
be
that.
lost.
Good.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's really well done, and yeah, like as a film buff, you'll really, really appreciate it because it has, like, for instance, those debates, the like film versus digital, and like everybody that works there is like, film is the worst. Like if you've ever worked with film, it is the worst,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the whole vinyl argument. Like, oh well, vinyl sounds better because you can hear the like imperfections, and it's the same with film.
Sure.
You could see the warble, and it's warm, and it's like, yeah, but it's just not. Right? It's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I'll it's been on the list. It's gonna get there one day. It's just, the only other show I know that I'm definitely watching anytime I check out Apple TV. The only two shows, Shrinking, Severance. So also great.
Yeah, so we'll wrap things up as we do, but yeah, so we'll let Roberto get these words in if he's capable. We're gonna finish the page offline, so if you want to see it, we will post that either on our Substack or wherever these pages are going to end up in the long run. I'm behind on getting the Substack out there, but the final page will be very visible with all the cool ideas we came up with for the bubbles being obscured by the onomatopoeia of the crackling in the middle. So, with that said, well, let's wrap things up because yeah, Roberto needs the time back. So, with that, Colton, with this abrupt end, let us know what you're up to, who you are, all the business. Floor is yours.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled to be here. I appreciate the time. This was so much fun. My name's Colton. You can find me on social media, I guess. Instagram, Colton Lee Hensley. I will eventually have out my book when it comes out eventually. So check back in with me in like a year or two and we'll go from there. So, but again, thanks for having me. This was a blast.
Yeah, man, you're a lot of fun to talk to. This is great. And yeah, if you want to be back on between now and then, by all means, yeah, come on by. We'll have the talk again. I'm going to do the pitch for Roberto now. So if you want to find Roberto, he's very easy to find. Roberto Viacava, illustration.com. I'm going to write that out on the screen for you to see. But yeah, you can find all of his stuff there. He's online at Viacava Roberto on most socials. But again, go to Roberto Viacava, illustration.com. You will find his everything there. He probably has something in pre-launch. If not Voyager, then Nathaniel Fox. You can find those both on Kickstarter or just look up Roberto on Kickstarter itself and you'll see all the stuff he has going on. Now my turn. So my name's Adriano. I'm going to do this right this time. I remembered my name. You can find me at pestocomics.com. Very easy. Or at Pesto Comics on all the socials. Very straightforward, very simple. I have a anthology coming out called Big Smoke Pulp. This is volume 2. You can pick up volume 1 as well on the Kickstarter when it launches. I have a pre-launch available on Kickstarter. Make sure to follow it. And yeah, you'll get there. You'll see it when it launches. So with that, Colton, thank you very much. Thank you for dealing with some of the technical difficulties and some of the issues we had here at the end. But it was a wonderful conversation. Like I said, we'd love to have you back again. If you want to talk to us in the future, let us know how the book's going or when it's coming out. Hopefully you can tell us the big publisher that you land in the near future. We'll see. But
this will be the first people I'll call, so that's for sure. So
amazing. I love it. But yeah, so thank you very much for being here. And with that, yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for sticking around with us. Check out the page on Instant Ink podcast.xyz. And until next time, have a good one. Thanks.